not worried about fourth place.
Get first place. You're gonna get the first beat down. Yeah, Herbert's gonna go off, and it's gonna be all the Mike Williams.
It might too.
Keenan Allen's gonna pull a hammy in the first quarter.
I was listening to some analysis earlier today too, and they were like really leaning that this is going to be a Mike Williams game. And I was like, God dang it! I mean, there's no way Allen shits the bed unless he gets hurt, but I sure want 20-something out of him.
It's because of the routes that he runs. Because Tennessee gets beat down the field.
Right. Exactly.
And that makes a lot of sense. Like, Tennessee is good up front. Their front seven is good. Their back four are not so good. And Keenan Allen runs a lot of 5-yard routes. So.
Yep, it's definitely possible that he only pulls off a 12-point game.
That's strong analysis. I'm actually going to not play Keenan Allen in my cash line. I'll play my phone instead.
Welcome to week 15, everybody. We just chilling.
Oh, hey.
We just chilling.
You're just chilling by yourself.
Just chilling.
Definitely a relaxed week, especially after
the week
being
off. Missed you guys last week.
Yeah, we definitely missed it, but unfortunately not coming back strong today. We're feeling a little bit, but hey, we want to put a little something out there.
Speak for yourself.
Confusing the shows here. What happened with that show? That poor show.
Which one?
Was it Speak for Yourself?
That's a show.
Because it started, huh?
What show?
Speak for Yourself.
What?
I don't know what that is either.
Yeah.
You don't know the show Speak for Yourself?
No.
For real? I'm alone on this one?
Inform me, man. What are you talking about?
It's a sports show on Fox where they argue and then they'll get to the point where like they'll say that. Speak for yourself. Speak for yourself. But it's actually called Speak for Yourself. Let me see, I'll pull it up. That's hilarious. I thought you were
No, I wasn't.
referencing.
I was not.
And I think it started with Jason Whitlock and he did something and
Oh,
the show got taken away from him. Yep.
It was Speak for Yourself?
Speak for yourself, yeah. Speak for yourself.
Huh.
Fox.
Yeah. I remember that. I do remember Jason Whitlock. He's a funny dude. He'd always get really angry. All right. Yeah, we'll save some money.
Oh, now it's just called Speak. So that must...
Yeah, because I was going to say, Joy Taylor hosts that. So that one I know about. But Speak for Yourself. That sounds familiar, but that's not it.
So instead of doing Homer Minute this week, since we're kind of constrained on time, you want to just like review our fantasy situation for the viewers, because I think it's going to tilt our podcast a little bit.
Okay, yeah. All right. So welcome to the playoffs, everybody. Anybody who's listening, yes, congratulations. You made it. Or congratulations, and you get to watch us. You know, we get to watch us participate in the playoffs. Actually, you know what I forgot to do. I forgot to tell you to bring sunglasses, so that we could both put on our sunglasses, and then only people that had made the playoffs would be wearing sunglasses in the room.
Who's that a shot at?
I'm like super choosing to ignore the dig. I'm like, tech stuff.
So yeah, in our league of record,
Yep.
Brian snuck into the playoffs on tiebreakers by 9 points.
Oh yeah.
Get there.
I had to win. I had to have somebody else lose.
Two other losers. You had to have two losers, right?
And it was just
No.
one. It was
You
just
produced one loser,
Exactly.
and then the other person needed to lose. But the other person was playing against the
top team. So it basically came down to I had to beat his score by 17.
Yeah, and he needed to outscore him. He needed the other guy to lose, which was probable to happen, but he also needed to outscore him by a certain number of
17,
points in order to catch up and pass him.
And it happened.
And it did happen. And his reward is he gets to play me.
Oh yeah. Love it. So actually, I would have rather that this was the Super Bowl match.
And
but,
just to like,
what's the projection on your guys' game?
Dead even.
But that's a Yahoo projection, and Yahoo also says that Jeff Driscoll is the tight end. So let's not put too much stock into that. So yeah, so Brian over here has a decent nucleus of a team.
Super strong running backs.
His running back run. He has one super strong running back. In theory, he has two, but in reality, you've only had one because Kamara is borderline top 20 this season.
Okay, but that's about to turn around the next 3 weeks.
Okay.
He's got some real nice some nice matchups. No, he went through the rough spot of his matchups,
He's
but
played Atlanta already.
and I can't remember what he did in that
Yeah.
game. But
You don't want to know.
all right.
You don't look. It was pretty bad.
I'll take the over.
The New Orleans offensive line has just been bad. They've been really bad. They haven't been able to run the football, and they're not. You know what? When I'm watching them, they just don't look like anything like the same offense that they used to run at all. Because they used to run plays that were clearly designed to get Alvin Kamara the ball in space, like 3 to 4 yards in front of the line of scrimmage, and they don't run any of those plays anymore. Any of them. The targets that he happens to get they're check down targets. They're not actual designed little outs for him that he used to get all the time. So I've hard.
noticed that too, yeah.
It's hard to predict what he's gonna be able to produce, on a week in, week out basis. And the reason I'd worry about him this weekend, like you think Atlanta, okay, he's gonna have a great matchup. He's gonna destroy Atlanta, right? But Atlanta's starting a new quarterback. They might not be competitive.
True.
So this could be I don't know what the over under on this game is, but if it's anything over 40, I'd slam the under.
Well, honestly, I mean, Atlanta hasn't had a starting quarterback all year. I mean, they've been passing.
Mariota's had his moments.
Okay, but didn't he have
They beat San Francisco's. They beat the brakes off of San Francisco at home.
But they've had some games where he threw less than 10 times, right?
Huh?
Didn't
Not less than
there like
10
2
times.
times?
No,
there was
no.
two games that were just ridiculous.
I'd have to
Maybe
go.
it was 10
I'd
completions.
have to- he has a low completion count. That is for sure. You don't want a receiver for the Falcons. This is a messy game.
Right. I mean, they're going to run the ball
To me,
40
this
times.
is a Taysom Hill game.
And I've definitely been thinking about putting him in there.
Yeah, I was more worried about you starting Taysom Hill in your tight end slot than
still
Jeff
might.
Driscoll.
I honestly don't know which way I'm going to go.
That's what
on
you
that.
should do.
I put the Driscoll in there for a troll all week, but I'm very.
I'm much more worried about Taysom Hill. I'm starting him in a league that I'm trying to win another playoff game in a different league. So I don't know. Like the reason I traded in that same league where I'm going to start Taysom Hill is the league that I traded Kamara away for James Conner and Derrick Henry, or not Derrick Henry, excuse me, David Montgomery.
I was like, wow, great trade, man.
But James Conner wins the trade for me.
No,
Look it up.
I'm saying will not at the end of the season. That's
Absolutely. I think he will. Absolutely. Yeah. Yes. He's playing 98% of the snaps. He's getting all the work. All the work. There's nothing else going to anybody. All the checkdowns are James Conner. Like they do design some screens for him. I think he's got 5+ targets in his last 6 games. It's been sneaky under the radar because he's
not getting any touchdowns.
Because he's not scoring 2 touchdowns a
score.
game. But that doesn't matter. That's. I don't. Kamara's not.
You're saying he's getting so much work.
Like you really think New Orleans is going to score more than Arizona?
With Colt McCoy at quarterback,
He played really well.
He's still Colt McCoy, man.
There's a lot. Sure, he's still Colt McCoy, and you know what? Come the second or third start, sure, but the first start, he'll have plenty of gas in the tank. He runs the offense smoothly. I would be much more willing to bet on Arizona's offense right now than New Orleans.
There's film
offense.
on McCoy though. He's not a new guy coming in. There's film on him.
He's Case Keenum. It's the same thing. He's Taylor Heineke.
He's a step below Case Keenum.
I
guys need to leave my boy Case Keenum
I don't agree
alone.
with that. I don't think he's a step below Case Keenum.
I do.
No, absolutely.
Case Keenum should be starting for the Rams right now, not Babe.
Anyway, so that's what we have going on. And,
Yes,
so also
we're very passionate about this.
Yeah, and Brian was gonna start good old Mike White this week at quarterback. So now he's scrambling a little bit.
Yes, and now viewers or listeners, I am choosing between.
You could start Taysom Hill.
I am choosing between Taylor Heineke and Jared
Yeah.
Goff.
So if anybody's listening right now, help him out. let's get some votes out there.
Yeah, Heineke or Goff.
Heineke or Goff, Heineke or Goff, guys.
I think Heineke has a better floor. Like he's not going to crap the bed, but yeah, his ceiling is probably.
I don't know. They both have brown pants.
Honestly,
Yeah, it's a tough one, man. It's not a place I want to be.
I don't think I'd go with Heineke.
I'm pretty happy about the spot you're in.
I think I'd go with Goff.
Yeah, no, it's all about matchups.
But it is interesting because so we're paired up, and he's got this issue where he's been streaming quarterbacks all year long, and he thought he had one lined up, and there's not very much on the waiver wire outside of that option this week at Streamer. That there's just not very good streaming options this week. And he's also been shopping through tight ends all year long. So he's got a decision to make at tight end. Which quarterback does he want to start at tight end?
Yep.
Which quarterback that's not worthy of starting at quarterback does he want to start at tight end?
Are you referring to just the one?
Taysom Hill
He's got
and
he's got both of them.
Jeff Driscoll. I've got them both.
Yeah. Yeah, and so personally, I honestly I don't care if you start him against me this week because I don't think he's gonna do much this week. I really don't, because I think if that game had been less competitive, the Dallas game, you probably wouldn't have even picked him up because he doesn't really pass the ball. He runs the ball.
Well, he still had. I think he had.
He
I
did.
was surprised at how many attempts he had.
He did, but if you watch the game, the only reason that I have a problem, I don't have a problem with Taysom Hill being tight end eligible. Because, first of all, Taysom Hill is one of my favorite football players to watch in the league.
he's fun.
That guy is just awesome. Yeah. If you're going to get in a bar fight, you'd love to have Taysom Hill right next to you.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, so, but the other guy, Jeff Driscoll, and I told this to somebody else in the league, what it reminds me of is, you remember Jalen Hurts' rookie year? Mm-hmm. And the Eagles would bring him in certain packages near the goal line. And he would run the read option, and that's all he would do. He'd run 3 or 4 plays. That was it. That's all he would do. That's what it's like. So it's kind of like if Jalen Hurts had been eligible at tight end when he was doing that,
right?
Because the guy has 0 snaps anywhere other than quarterback, not just this year, but in his career. And the only reason that he's tight end eligible on Yahoo. The only site that he's tight end eligible is because they listed him as a tight end for a preseason game this year. And that's Yahoo, and that's why we won't be on Yahoo next year.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I said that at draft night, and I was serious.
Okay.
And this absolutely seals it because it's a joke. People shouldn't be having.
It's pretty funny.
people shouldn't be having to worry about stuff like that. That's ridiculous. Yeah. That is it's. Poor job, Yahoo. Extremely poor job. Yeah, that's horrible.
But it's going to be fun. Yeah. So I've got some interesting decisions. I've got 2 very hard decisions coming up.
And then on my side, I am the owner of both Deebo Samuel and Damian Pierce, who experienced high ankle sprains this last weekend.
Yes, sir. Yes,
so it's going to be interesting.
Yes.
It's going to be interesting.
Do we put a Bowmore on it?
No, we already no.
I know we've got our own.
Yeah,
thing.
no.
For the podcast, no. Okay.
Oh man, that's interesting. We have enough Bowmores. Bowmores are coming.
Okay,
the Bowmores. It's
it is going to be Bowmore season.
Bowmore season very soon. Yes.
And if you guys aren't longtime listeners, the Bowmore Vets are the most awful whiskey that we have ever had.
It's so bad.
Yeah, it's expensive. But
I'm going to be taking
awful.
one. I'm thinking about it already. The Giants one. I know I'm going to be taking one for the Giants. Yeah. But it's super interesting. It is super interesting because I feel like if the Giants get a win, so how does that work? So let's say I said this earlier when we were still not recording. That I personally believe that both the Giants and the Dolphins are going to lose out.
Okay.
So, but if they don't, let's say if the Dolphins lose out, they finish 8-9. If the Giants win 1 game, and then they lose out, they finish 8-1.
Okay.
Who wins the bet?
8-1 is a
All
better
right.
record.
Okay. Cool.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. It's not more wins though.
No, it's
not. All right. Cool.
who has a better record.
Okay, cool.
Absolutely.
All right.
I
Yeah.
think it's,
No,
I think it's safe to say.
I wouldn't. Come on now. I'm not doing that to
Because
you.
if I sweep the Bowmores, oh my god, and I feel like
Oh wow! I
like
don't see how that happens.
if the Giants win this weekend, I feel like I will.
Well, didn't you already take a Bowmore though?
Huh? For what?
I don't know, but this erased one.
I didn't
right
take.
here.
I didn't take a Bowmore. No. He took a shot.
Somebody. I was gonna say there's.
I took a Bowmore.
He took.
Okay.
oh,
Okay.
yeah.
I was like,
For-
somebody
for-
took one.
He took for Allen Robinson 10 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. So yeah, you're gonna get me
We
regular.
gotta do more season longs next year.
Yeah.
These are fun to like.
You're gonna
kinda
get him
track
for the
through
OBJ
season.
one.
The OBJ one, you're gonna get me on.
Yep. Because OBJ is not
You're
going to get
probably
a team.
gonna get me on the Lazard one. I don't even know how close that one is.
Oh yeah, I don't think it's close at all.
I could get you on the DJ Moore, and I could get you on. And,
I don't see you catching me with DJ Moore, but Garrett Wilson can definitely catch McLaurin. So that one I'm worried about because wow, Wilson has really come on. Man, that guy looks good now. So and we had the two bets that we got to pay off real quick. The first bet was Tua versus Rodgers 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
I had Tua, he had Rodgers, and of course the king of beating me by 1 point.
Just enough,
Beat me
baby.
by 1 point on that one. And then the other one was Zay Jones versus Kirk.
Christian Kirk.
Captain
Yeah,
Kirk.
Captain Kirk.
And I won that one by more than 1 point. I
Yes,
believe,
by more
yes.
than 1 point. Yes.
Okay.
So cheers to
All
you.
right, cheers.
So good.
Buffalo Trace.
No chase.
There you go.
So yeah, that's what we're drinking tonight, guys. Buffalo Trace, no chase.
There we go.
Get it?
Bam.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was the other one, across the skeleton. Starts with a S. Screwball.
Oh.
And then I didn't look at it till just now. Yeah.
Yeah. I had a buddy at work tell me that this is a real nice starter whiskey that, if you're not going to go real expensive, like this one, you can get a lot of flavor and actually pretty decent drink out of this one. And I would have to agree. It's kind of nice. All right.
The ancient paths of countless buffalo led American westward. Legendary explorers, pioneers, and settlers alike followed these trails, known as traces, through rugged wilderness to new lands, new adventures, and newfound freedom. You can read the rest of it off the bottle.
Check this out,
That
Brian.
fantastic poem, Buffalo Trace.
That's my work league.
Taysom Hill, Dobbins. Wow. Not as strong as this league, that's for sure. As our league.
You don't think so?
No.
That's interesting. Is that
Really?
Yeah, it's interesting that you think so.
Dude, I think your team is pretty. Like you took a couple of hits this week, I will admit, but you've got a good team in our league. This one looks like it's got some things that are a little thrown together, which
So I picked.
I
Kyle
have in my
Pitts.
leagues too. So I was like, hey, those are so some of my replacements there. So
In this league, I picked Kyle Pitts at tight end, and I had Trey Lance at quarterback. And
mistakes were made.
Mistakes were yeah. So this is one of the this earlier I asked you if any of your championships were sweeter,
Right.
and so if I was able to pull this one off, this one would be amazing. It'd be hard to forget this one because in this one, I first of all I drafted 10th of 10.
Okay.
And at the turn, I made the best decision possible. I got Diggs and Jefferson at the turn.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Can't believe Jefferson made it that
I know, right? And then mistakes were made in the draft because I was the person who drafted Kyle Pitts, DJ Moore, Elijah Mitchell, Travis Etienne, and all of these happened in between rounds 3 and 7. So it was
Gotcha.
it was a rough start. My team started 0-3 and 1-5. We were 1-5.
Well, and honestly, like I'm looking at your team right now, and like that's what it looks like. Is because you've got all these little these replacements and fill-ins that have done really well,
Yeah, and
replacing and filling in.
I won the waiver wire priority sweepstakes on Ken Walker. I traded.
Oh, how much did that cost you, by the way? I'm curious. What did that cost you?
It was just priority. This
Oh,
one's
it's the-
this one's non-fab.
Boo.
I complained about it when it happened. I was like, this is. I didn't think I was going to get Ken Walker. Because I make moves all the time. I was like, there's no way I'm going to get him. But it was based on record. and at the time we were 1-5. So,
wow.
Yeah. Anyway, I traded Justin Jefferson away for Alvin Kamara, and I got his good games. All the games this season where Alvin Kamara has scored 20 plus points, I started him in this league. I traded Damian Pierce when he was on fire for Dak and Chris Godwin.
Nice.
Yeah, and because I didn't have a quarterback, I had drafted Trey Lance, so I didn't have a quarterback in this league. So
You didn't want to stream with me, huh?
So we really pieced everything. I got locked on to Geno Smith pretty early.
Yeah, and those of you who did get Geno Smith early in the streaming sweepstakes, like congratulations! Like God, I wish I would have got him 1 week earlier.
And that's what this season for this team really is. Like Chris Olave is like an MVP for me. Because he hasn't been doing anything really lately, and he's like in a 10-team league. He's borderline droppable,
Right.
But I can't bring myself to do it because he helped me get through some like that London game.
He was the man when it counted.
That London game was so good. I think he scored. I think he was worth like 25 points that week or something like that, and he won me the week for sure. But yeah. Anyway. Playoffs, man.
Yeah,
Playoffs. It is playoff time.
I said we usually don't talk that much about our own teams and whatnot, but
it's
as you can
playoff
tell,
time.
yeah, we are freaking excited, man. I know I made it in all 4 of my leagues, and I'm like in a couple just barely, and so
I
I'm
missed
just
my
like,
dynasty league, but I got my other 3 that I quote unquote care about. I finished first in the Megalo Bowl. In my
bracket,
bracket of the Megalo Bowl. So we finished 22-6.
Oh, good.
22.
Nice.
Yeah, because which would have accounted to 11-3.
Yeah, that's great.
And then I made it in 100% of my ESPN leagues. Yeah, I have 8 ESPN leagues, and I made the playoffs in all 8 of them.
Nice. Yeah. Nice. All right, so enough humble brags here. Or well, no, those were just
I'm not being
brags.
humble about
Yeah,
it.
those were just brags. Never mind.
So, we did our DraftKings shot. We can move on to the game talk, and we can get the worst game of the weekend out of the way first. Right?
And we're gonna spend a little less time on the games this week. We're gonna try to plow through them a little bit, just because we are running.
It's
a little
late
behind,
already. Yeah,
but-
it's 8:45.
Yeah, but we'll try to give you a little sense of each game and what we think.
Colts at Vikings. Colts plus 3.5. Over under at 47.5.
Yeah, those paper tiger Vikings really finally showed up, huh?
Yep. Yeah, and honestly, I mean, we talked about that, and I didn't doubt that was going to happen, but they're still a pretty decent team, and
But
I
they
think
are
they can,
still a type of tiger. Like a paper tiger is still a type of tiger.
they can
And
beat anybody.
the
but they
Colts
lose to anybody.
are highly susceptible to really anything with claws.
I was wondering if you're going to go with the Colts here. I'm guessing not.
No, I'm not going to pick the Colts to
right.
beat the Vikings.
I'll take the Vikings as well.
Yeah, we're all gonna, like the Vikings shouldn't have an issue here.
Yeah, fantasy wise, you start basically all your Vikings.
The most
Not Thielen, but
fantasy-wise,
everyone
the
else.
most exciting thing to talk about here is whether or not Matt Ryan is a streamable quarterback this weekend. And I say no, based on he just looks a little too slow now.
Yeah.
Like his delivery was always deliberate. I'm okay right now. His delivery was always a little deliberate, but he used to have more strength and he used to be able to hold on to the ball. He is a fumble machine now. It is unreal.
Yeah.
So and because of that, I don't think you can trust him. I really don't. But it sucks because the Vikings have been horrible on defense. So you want to be able to start, Michael Pittman with some confidence, and you want to be able to start like Jonathan Taylor and maybe Alec Pierce, and you should be able to stream Matt Ryan against this defense.
Right. But who are you actually going to start? I mean, you're going to start Taylor
And Pittman. You're going to start Pittman and hold your nose.
Right. And honestly, I think Pittman will have at least a decent day.
how he doesn't get to 10 points,
Yeah,
I don't know.
Exactly,
Like,
and he could
but
get 2 touchdowns. You
they've
never know.
figured it out a bunch of times this year, so they could do it again. I don't expect that to happen. I expect that Pittman and Jonathan Taylor both be fine starts.
And
Ravens and Browns.
Ravens and Browns.
Ravens plus 2.5. Over under at 38.5. About
I'm gonna do it, man.
So-
I think the Browns are gonna win this game.
That's interesting. That's interesting stuff because I didn't. This is the game that I've most weary of picking this weekend because I didn't get it. I really wanted to watch both Deshaun Watson games. I didn't get a chance to do that. I haven't watched either of them yet because I wanted to watch the first game and the second game right afterwards so that I could get a real sense of whether or not Deshaun Watson was progressing. So I can't tell you whether or not he is yet. The statistics would say no.
No,
But I did
But
watch
some of the throws are
caught
getting better.
I caught the end of the game against Cincinnati last week, and he was able to move the team down the field. It was just in the red zone where they stalled out, and that kind of stuff just takes a little bit of time. So
Exactly.
and Baltimore didn't deserve to win last weekend, and they really they're a worse 9-4 team than the Vikings are a 10-3 team, for sure. Like those two teams are the two fake teams to me.
I agree. I agree with
as
those
far
two.
as they're going to make the playoffs. It's going to look like they had a good season in the standings, but
they're one and done in the playoffs.
I think so.
Absolutely. And I'll just say that Deshaun Watson, I had to drop him last week because I went through a bipocalypse. I looked at my starters, and all of a sudden I had 4 on bye, and caught me a little off guard, and I had to empty my bench a little bit to do some things. Thankfully it worked. But I had to drop Deshaun Watson, and somebody else picked him up. And I wish I had him this week because I would start him.
Yep.
So
And I'd be worried
throw
about
that out. Yeah, exactly.
Like I would be just as worried about facing off against Deshaun Watson as I would have Mike White this weekend. Yeah, for sure.
Dolphins at Buffalo. Dolphins plus 7.
So I'll join him. I'll take the Browns too.
Wow.
Okay.
God, I thought that was going to be my lone wolf for sure.
I thought it was going to be mine. That's funny. So like I said, I didn't get a chance to watch the Deshaun Watson footage that I wanted to watch, but I watched the Ravens.
They don't look good right now.
And they are, they're exactly, we talked about this last week. They're gonna play close games. It doesn't really, they're not gonna run away from anybody. And I don't think they're gonna get run over by anybody because they're a talented enough team. They just they're just kind of
Talented enough. That sums it up.
they're just kind of blah.
Yeah.
But their defense is awesome.
Yeah, they can win games, but man, they can lose them too.
That pairing of Patrick Queen and Roquan Smith is really good. They're really good. They cause a lot of havoc. But I think this game's going to come down to the last possession, and I think this is going to be a game where Cleveland fans get to see why their team
They paid up for Deshaun.
why their team was
Voldemort.
willing to Voldemort was willing to trade in their soul.
All right. And sorry, go ahead. Next game, did you announce the line? on that one?
Dolphins at Bills. Dolphins plus 7. Over unders at 43.5.
Oh, and these are all the Saturday games, by the way.
Yes,
too.
they are.
Yeah.
These are tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh God, it's tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Yes, it is. It is tomorrow. There's
Sucks. I'm only going to get to watch half of them. I'll be at
stuff
work.
happening tomorrow. I will get to watch that first game, so I'll get to watch Michael Pittman goose you
we shall see.
and pull a hamstring.
I was like, you just said he's going to get at least 10.
Yeah, I don't see how that would be how though if he pulled a hamstring.
Yeah.
It would be hard for him to get 10 points if he pulled a hamstring tomorrow. Depending on when he does it.
Fourth quarter.
If he does it in
Last
the
play.
if he pulls a hamstring in the middle of a 40-yard touchdown, he'll still get 10 points. But
All right. So Miami,
So,
Buffalo. Actually, this is a really good game to talk about too.
The Tua implosion is fully underway. This guy called it right here.
No, you
This
and
guy right
you
here.
did.
Been telling you all year long.
And I remember 3 weeks ago you wanted to talk about, Tua. Is he, he's the best rated quarterback in the league, but he's absolutely horrible. And I was just like, that's not real interesting to talk about right now because we don't know. We don't have a lot of information. I see where you're coming from, that you could be right.
I was just tired of people like being up his butt.
Right. Well,
I was tired of it.
And I agreed. Like that stat that they've been throwing out there all year, it is misleading because he has thrown a lot of balls that he got saved on by Tyreek Hill. That should have been touchdowns, but only 30-yard gains. There's been a lot of that stuff.
Here's the thing. I love fantasy football. But I still love real football more.
Right.
Like real good football. So, like, I'm not just looking at the box score and, like, going, oh, he threw for 350 yards and 3 touchdowns and no interceptions. He's just awesome. He's awesome. I watched the game, dude. You're lucky as shit.
Yeah.
Like, I watched the game. And, I mean, and Tua seems like a really nice dude. But to me, he's a backup quarterback. Like, he doesn't have the arm strength. Like, he's a really smart guy. He's mentally capable of playing quarterback. He doesn't have the physical tools. That is what it looks like to me.
And I think the jury is still out a little bit there, but your argument is definitely gaining a lot of ground now for the last couple of games. And I think this is going to be a weird game. This is going to be in a blizzard. We've got crazy weather going on.
Also, so remember, he's still
home.
down his left tackle too. So the biggest thing that has changed in the last couple of weeks is that he hasn't had all day to throw the football and look through his progressions and find the one guy that's standing in an just completely wide open or streaking completely wide open, and defenses are zoning him a little more. And like I said, he's just not that accurate. So they're taking advantage of his poor throws. I was honestly a little surprised. I thought I picked the Chargers to win last week, but I thought it was going to be more 38-31, 38-35. I didn't expect the Chargers to be able to also, shut down Tua. And at one point in that game, I think Tua was really, really, really bad. I want to say he was like 2 for his first 15 or something like that. It was awful. And so I'm not saying he's that awful, but if his guys aren't running wide open, he's not going to throw them open.
No, I agree. I agree with that. And he hasn't shown. Honestly, I think he still has a lot more to prove, despite what he's done this season, despite how he started the season. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
I'm just saying this is what I see. Like when I watch the football travel from his arm to the destination,
it doesn't always look good. I agree.
No, it never. To me, it never looks good. I'm never like, oh, that was a really nice pass to it.
Yeah.
Like, and not everybody can be Justin Herbert.
Man, Hill and Waddle are really good. That's what you always come away with.
But I would much rather have like a Kirk Cousins throwing the ball.
Yeah.
Like, and all that talk about, like Tua and maybe the Chargers made the wrong selection, because Tua was having all this success.
Oh, I don't know who was saying that.
Oh, that was coming up.
Really? I hadn't heard that, but I would have laughed.
I did. The first person that said it was, and honestly, like, let's not go there.
All right. So who do you think's going to win?
The Bills.
Bills.
Yeah,
okay,
I already said this. The Dolphins are going to lose out.
Yeah. Okay. Right. I'm going to take the Bills here too.
So the Dolphins are going to lose out and miss the playoffs. Everybody. Sorry, guys, that we're all excited when they were 8-3.
And sorry, actually, we should have been talking about fantasy stuff here. Just real quickly, just because of the weather. I mean, who do you want to start here?
Raheem Mostert.
Man, I think we can sum it up like this: like whoever you're going to start and that's playing in this game, be careful. Like if you have an option, I'd probably switch to that option.
I think James Cook is a sneaky start because he has been getting the most carries of the Bills running backs. So if they're gonna do like a ground and pound attack, I would expect that James Cook would have the most carries. But
that's a pretty desperation start there.
I'm not saying you should do it.
Well, I mean,
I'm just prognosticating.
I hear you. All right.
Jeez, God.
But I can see how he pulls down a touchdown in that kind of a weather. Yeah, this game's going to be low scoring, tough to predict.
I think he's just
stay
their
away
best-
if you can, but it's hard because like look at these two offensive teams. Like you've got so many weapons. In here.
Oh yeah, it sucks. Like
This is for this to be the first week of the playoffs. That's a rough game, man.
It's hey, you know what? When you pick Buffalo players at the beginning of the season, you know that eventually
Yep.
December is coming, and December is when championships are won, and
They still won't put a dome on that building.
and they're never going to do it because football should be played outside in the snow. God damn it,
I don't know if I agree with that one.
I do.
All right.
I agree with myself all the time. But, yeah. What do you mean? You don't think that snow should be played or football should be played in the elements?
I think watching a dome game is way more interesting than watching
To
a snow
fantasy
game.
football heads.
What do you think I am?
Well, I mean, like I said, hey, I love fantasy football, but I love real football more.
I do too,
And
but
I
it-
personally
but no, it's
like
just-
all the stadiums should be open and grass.
It takes too much. Like, I mean, if that's the case, it changes the game a lot, and you have to prepare your team differently. So
Yeah,
okay, but it doesn't make for as
you
good a
realize
TV.
that
It's not as
football is
exciting.
originally a war game, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So the idea is like, so if you're gonna go fight a war in like, let's say, do I dare say like Korea or something, or something like that, you're gonna prepare for the terrain, right? Like you're not just gonna
Right.
you're not gonna call them out and be like, okay, let's meet on the blacktop and then make sure everybody has equal footing. Let's check your shoes. No, those aren't non-slip.
It feels like this is a bit of a get off my lawn argument. You know what I mean? The old man just like,
What are you,
look,
what are you talking
I
about?
like it the way it
You're-
used to be. You know,
No, it's not it's not about the way that it used to be. It's just that it's let's remember that it's a game of football and that it's not out like the game of football. So here's what I don't like about oh man, I should take a timeout, I guess. Like because you're gonna kill me for like business on this, but to me, like football, baseball, basketball, hockey, they don't need monetary influence. The games are so great by themselves, what they are. They don't need to cater to anything. All they need, in my opinion, all they need to do is be the truest forms of themselves, and the fans will constantly flock to it. If anything, fans hate when you try and like cultivate things for them.
except that the NFL is the number one sport in America. I mean,
No, it is. Yeah, but it also has these scenarios like in Buffalo where people are going to be out in the snow, or I was in San Francisco last weekend and it was raining, and it was beautiful. It was so much fun. Most of the fans were prepared. The people
Let me
that
ask
go
you
there
a
all the
question.
time.
Did you enjoy the Fog Bowl?
I enjoy all that stuff. Yeah,
All right, okay.
I do. I really do.
I think that's where we separate. But all right, we need
Like-
to get we need to get moving on, man.
I called the timeout.
We've been on a timeout for 10 minutes.
You're on timeout.
Change the name to
All right.
timeout. Yeah. So next up, Falcons at Saints.
we all picked the Bills, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Falcons at Saints. Falcons are +4, and the over-under is at 43.5.
Desmond Ritter getting his first start in this
Oh, that's
game.
right. Yeah. Which makes me. I'm going to take the Saints here.
I think we're all taking the Saints.
Yeah. Okay. And the situation,
But it wouldn't surprise me if
I
the
don't
Falcons
want to.
won.
you're right. It wouldn't surprise
Well,
me.
never mind. They just gave away Mariota, but he wasn't. Was he starting?
Well, so what happened? It feels like it's been forever since we've seen them.
Right.
They had a Week 14 bye, and during the bye week, they announced that they were making the quarterback change. So we haven't seen Desmond Ritter take over yet. The last time we saw the Falcons, Mariota was the quarterback. It was 2 weeks ago.
Yep. So we have no idea what's going to happen, except they're going to run the ball.
We know they're going to run the
lot.
ball a lot. Yeah, we know that.
Is there any Falcon that you want to start?
No,
Not one.
not one.
I can't think of one either. I mean,
No. Like I get.
What about Patterson if you had to?
No. I think about Drake London.
In this game with Ritter.
That's the only thing is if it was Mariota,
Okay.
yes, because if you like they finally kind of unlocked him in the last game, and I'm like now they're gonna bring in Desmond Ritter, and I kind of want to just be like, you know what, I do want to play Drake London because they can't, like, there's no way that they saw how well he performed 2 weeks ago, and they're like, you know what, let's just bring in this other quarterback and forget about that guy. You know what I mean? So I still feel like he's going to be a big part of the offense. So whoever, like, Desmond Ritter might not throw the ball 20 times, but he could throw it to Drake London 12 still. I could see that happening. I could see him not throwing the ball 20 times and Drake London getting 10 targets.
All right, but you still wouldn't start him unless you.
No, I won't do it. I won't do it. I don't have
Okay.
I don't have the steel, the titanium underpants to do that one. I don't.
Fair enough. And then on the other side with the Saints, I mean, you can definitely start Kamara. I think this is a
you have
good
to
start for him.
Like you've been waiting all year.
Absolutely. Like this is the time to go.
This is his time.
This is the time.
Like this man scored 6 touchdowns on fantasy championship weekend 2 years ago. 6 touchdowns. Like
Please.
he knows that it's fantasy football playoff time. He knows.
No. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see
And
it.
so, like, if he doesn't do it this weekend, I don't know if I could start him afterwards.
Well, if he doesn't do it this weekend,
You won't have to worry about it.
I'll be
I'm
out.
just saying, like, let's say if he doesn't go off this weekend, like I'm talking 20 plus points, like he becomes like my running back 3. Like in my mind, I'm hoping I can make him
Gotcha.
my running back 3, because if he can't do that to the Falcons this weekend after a bye week with no Mark Ingram, like.
All right, and then your other starts in this game are Olave and
I think you could start the Saints guys.
and Hill. I'd just start those 3: Kamara, Olave, and Hill.
I think Dalton's a fine start. I think it's a stream. A fine, like if you're in a spot, and a lot of people are.
I am too.
A
And he's
lot
on
of
the waiver wire.
a
and I
lot of
passed
people
him
were
over.
playing Jimmy Garoppolo. A lot of people didn't want to play Geno Smith against the quarterbacks against the 49ers this weekend. A lot of people had Lamar Jackson. A lot of people were going to play Mike White. I'm saying, like, you could turn your lonely eyes to Andy Dalton this weekend, I think.
I had that choice. I had that opportunity.
Well, I took it away from you.
And I went, Heineke, I think that's
You
got a
didn't
better
have
option.
that choice. Like,
Yeah, Dalton was out there.
I have him
When did you pick him up?
this morning.
Oh, okay. That's when I looked and I was just like, no.
Yeah, no.
The only
you were
one I
still
thought
on Mike
about-
White. Like when I picked up Andy Dalton, you were still on Mike White.
But I was looking to see if Mike White didn't play, who was my pivot. And
That's why I picked him up, is because I would pick Andy Dalton. Like
Yeah.
I picked up the guys that I would have pivoted to.
there you go.
It would have been so if
Difference of opinion.
it would have been Ryan Tannehill and Andy Dalton,
All right.
and obviously Tom Brady. But you can't have him.
Okay, so we all took the Saints, and those are our fantasy prospects. We're ready to move on to a great game.
We have Pittsburgh at Panthers. +3, over under at 37. Pittsburgh is +3.
This one's gonna
Did you
be
hear that over under 37?
under. This one's gonna be under.
Super low over under, and you're saying under.
Unless the Panthers return a couple of Trubisky's interceptions,
Which very much could happen.
oh my god,
Yeah.
like
Trubisky is so bad. Trubisky is just, oh my God.
so like somebody went up to Mitch and was like, "Hey man, you realize we haven't turned the ball over in 5 games?" And then Mitch was like, "I'll hold my
Hold
beer."
my beer. Yeah. Watch this.
Because the Steelers hadn't turned the ball over in 5 games.
Yeah.
And Mitchell Trubisky comes in and commits 3 red zone interceptions. 3 red zone interceptions. Are you
Yep.
kidding me? If you guys had just kicked 1 field goal of those 3 interceptions, you win that game.
I wanted to puke, man. It was bad.
I did too. It was bad. That was horrible. But you know what? Najee looks good.
Najee does look good. He looks like he's coming back. He
Yeah.
looks like he's healthy.
Yeah, he looks excellent.
He's running
they,
well.
They were able
Yeah.
to move the ball all day long.
Yeah, exactly.
And somehow, you saw that Pickens he requested that Rudolph be the starter this weekend.
No. Oh my God.
I
I mean, and that's I agree with him, but you don't say that out loud when you're on the
got-
team, brother. Come on.
you guys and your mouthy receivers. I swear to God,
I guess we are getting a reputation.
you really are.
Okay, so fantasy wise, this game is going to be rough here.
yeah.
Steelers, you're going to start Najee.
You can start
Pickens
Najee.
if you
I
absolutely
wouldn't be excited
have
about
to.
it though. The Panthers' defense has been better. I would not start any pass catchers for the Steelers this weekend.
And Freiermuth would be you'd think about, except that he's hurt.
You'd hope not to do that.
Yeah,
You
because of the
you
injury.
should
The injury is
pivot
a
from
real
Freiermuth,
because
you can play Jeff Driscoll.
there you go.
I mean, seriously. I mean, that's not something that most people know about.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Yahoo leagues.
like
think about it.
we're joking about it a lot, but if you play on Yahoo and you were going to start Pat Freiermuth, I would start Jeff Driscoll over Pat Freiermuth this weekend for sure.
Yeah, I would too. Actually, I'd start Driscoll over
But
most.
yeah, this Panthers team is interesting.
Fantasy wise,
No.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Fantasy-wise, no. Fantasy-wise, no. But they're
Maybe Chuba Hubbard if
they're
you had
in a
to.
spot to be competitive, and they already took a game off of the Bucks. Like,
Yeah,
they're
funny though.
It's interesting. It's super interesting. You can honestly, fantasy-wise, I'm more interested in starting both of the Panthers running backs than I am Najee Harris this weekend.
What?
Yeah, actually, seriously.
Can we put that on the board?
Well,
There's a bet I'll
the
take.
reason is because the Steelers have been soft on the run, like the bringing back T.J. Watt has produced more turnovers and more sacks, but they haven't gotten better against the run yet. The Ravens did gash them for over 200 yards.
So pick your favorite.
My favorite running back in the game is Deontay Foreman.
All right, versus Najee.
Sure,
All right, let me put that on the board.
you can do that.
I picked the Steelers.
I'll take the Panthers.
Lone Wolf.
I am going to take the Panthers at home in this game. Sam Darnold, baby.
How did you do last week?
Sam Darnold actually was fine, and even in a fantasy start because he happened to recover a fumble and roll into the end zone.
Next up is the Eagles at Bears, but let me find it real quick.
Let me help you.
Oh,
Eagles
yeah.
are favored by a lot.
But the Bears will win.
Wow.
Just kidding.
I was like, you go, boy. You take those Bears.
The Bears
Eagles
at home,
is
dude.
minus 8.5.
This is-
so
hey,
that was-
This is
Over under
Ray,
at
this is
40
where
and a
Ray
half.
takes the Bears here.
Nah, I already picked the Eagles.
Yeah, I think you can put all on the
Yeah,
Eagles.
you can put us all on the Eagles in this one.
And just a quick digression. I think the Eagles are probably the best team in the NFC. Like they just, I mean, I know they're 12-1.
They're
so, I mean,
playing the
that's
most
not
consistent of anybody.
they look good, man.
They
Like,
just-
they look like the Super Bowl team. From
They
the
show
NFC.
up to dominate every single week. What I think about the Eagles though is that they kind of remind me of that team that just has that spectacular regular season where they just completely untested. Because what's been their test
Well, they played the Cowboys once, and they're going to play them again.
with Cooper Rush?
Okay.
The Cowboys started Cooper Rush in that game, and they almost lost that game.
Right.
They
al-
played 13
they-
NFL games. They've been
they-
tested.
They
They've been, 13 games, and look at the division
It's
that they're
not.
in.
It's not.
That
the
is
same.
a tough division,
It's not.
dude. All 4 teams are going to make the playoffs, probably.
No. I
Well,
disagree.
good chance.
I disagree with that. No.
Percentage-wise, there's a significant chance that all 4.
Significant is a word that you can use that I can't deny here.
That's why I used it. So that's what I'm saying.
So I'm
they
not,
play
I'm
in a
not-
really tough division, and they're 12-1.
I'm just trying. All I'm saying is like we've seen. Remember when the Packers went 15-1 after like they won the Super Bowl, then they went 15-1. They kind of remind me of that team.
Yeah.
And what happened to that team?
Okay, but that 15-1 was with horrible Detroit, a horrible Viking team.
The Vikings were not horrible.
That year. Anyway, I'm just saying their competition in their division was
Within their division, they're
much lower.
Right, but
lower
we're
grade.
talking. Yeah, but okay. So the Eagles, their one loss came in their division.
Who was it to again? Was that
Washington
Commanders?
Yeah. They still have 3 division games left, I think. No, 2. They still
I do love that the NFL did that, by the way.
They still play the Giants and they still play the Cowboys one more time. But the NFC East has the softest schedule. I believe that the Eagles have the weakest strength of schedule in the NFL.
Okay.
So all I'm saying is
That doesn't make sense with the division, but
it all works out based on when the people that you play are as bad as because they've played the AFC South and the NFC North.
gotcha. Yeah. Unfortunately, the North has not been great this year.
Yeah. So anyway. Anyway, I'm not saying that they won't, go to the Super Bowl. They definitely could. Right. All I'm saying is like I haven't seen them in one of those knockdown, drag out games where it's like that was a really impressive win.
Right.
Like that was like
I know what you mean.
Put them in a position put them in a position where they have to actually fight to win a game. They haven't been challenged that way yet. They haven't faced tested is the wrong word. They haven't faced controversy yet.
What were you saying, Ray?
I was just going to say that Ken's just being biased against the Eagles.
Ken?
I always
never.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. That's ridiculous.
All right, so start all your Eagles. If you Goddard would be the only question, just because he's just coming back. You're probably in a tight end situation where you have to start him.
Yeah,
but
you've been streaming. You're happy to get him back. You're starting him.
Yeah, I've got a couple situations where I'm like, I've got Hawkinson. I'm going to start Hawkinson over him. I'm probably going to start Taysom Hill over him.
It hurts Devontae Smith, I think, a little bit. I think that's probably the biggest fantasy implication.
Yes, I agree with that too.
But I think
are you going to start Devontae Smith in this game then?
Yeah.
That's right.
If you have if you're starting 3 wide receivers, you're starting Devontae Smith for sure. I think on the other side, you play Justin Fields and that's it.
I agree. No, Montgomery. Montgomery's worth playing.
I wouldn't want to play Montgomery.
I'd play Montgomery.
That's
the one weak point for that Eagles defense.
They've been better.
I know.
They've been better the last couple weeks, and their guy's back now, Jordan Davis.
But Montgomery's going to put up.
Have you seen Jordan Davis?
10 points plus.
Have you seen Jordan Davis? The Eagles have 2 particular athletes that just scare the crap out of me. That I really wish that they played for any other team.
So you're saying that you can't pass on the Eagles and you can't run against the Eagles?
What's a BCB?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's a BCB?
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 I don't know.
Niners? BCB? Ring a bell? No?
Why?
Somebody said BCB.
I don't know. I don't know what that means. Elaborate, somebody.
Please
bang,
tell
bang, Niner gang. And then I said, no.
I wonder who that is.
BCB. And I was like...
Man, they were, the Niner fans were very, very happy last weekend. They were having a good time.
Yeah, dude, they should be happy. They've got a great team, and they're winning with their third string quarterback. I mean, good on you.
Their third
Eagles.
string quarterback that looks better than the guy that just got injured.
So far, I have a feeling that Mr. Purdy's going to fall apart, but we'll see.
Well,
we'll see. No,
I haven't seen anything that makes me think that's going to happen.
They're definitely managing the game for him. I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
I feel like
there's
a good
only,
defense
there's only
take
so much that you can protect a player from, and I understand when I watched the game.
What are we talking about?
Brock Purdy, the San Francisco.
Yeah, we're on a tangent here.
Yeah,
when I watch him,
our listener did it.
I don't feel like they're dumbing down the offense really that much. Like he makes reads, he makes progressions. He's able to stand in the pocket and go from read to read to read. And the thing that to me that separates him from Jimmy is his ability to escape the pocket. And when the play breaks down, he keeps his eyes downfield. And I've watched him take some shots, deliver the ball and get hit right afterwards.
I agree.
And like just some plays that rookies just don't make.
Like I say, I am very impressed with him, especially for being a 7th round draft pick and everything else.
So if the
I'm
Eagles
saying
going to
that
fall off,
when
I
he-
thought it was going to be last night.
But I'm saying when he gets to face the Eagles, when he gets to face the Cowboys, I think that's going to expose him. That's what I think.
I don't.
Right on.
I don't think so. Like I thought last night was a real test, going into Seattle, and and they had, if you saw, early in the game they got pinned on their own 1, I think, and they called a timeout because the crowd noise was so bad, and he was able to navigate them to a first down right there, and all they did was punt the ball, but that was just like being able to handle that situation and be able to control the game and navigate the 49ers to what was really a convincing cruising win that clinched the division over the division rival that's chasing you.
Dude, I agree.
I don't
agree.
I just don't see it. I don't see
Like I said,
where he's going to fall apart.
I'm impressed with him. I'm just, like I say, the big defenses, we'll see. But moving on. Congrats, Niner fan.
Kansas City at Houston Texans. This is your lopsided match.
All right, let's breeze through
Kansas
this
City minus 14.5, and you're over under at 49.5.
You start Isaiah Pacheco. You start Chris Moore on the other side.
one.
And then that's it.
Like, you're not trying to start Chris Moore.
You should be trying to start Chris Moore.
Okay, I would disagree with that. I'm not chasing those points. That's
I'm
not where
like
I want to be.
I almost want to just take put him into my flex over whether Damian Harris starts or not.
Okay, how can we do a Chris Moore bet?
Well, what do you want? Okay, so you're the one. You're saying you don't believe, right?
Right.
So, if I was to tell you, if I was to guarantee that he had 10 targets, would that make you a believer? That he was going to produce enough fantasy points that you'd want to start him? You'd be looking to start him?
Well, I'm saying that I would bet against 10 targets. If
No.
you want to make that the bet.
I'm
Okay.
But
I would be
if
happy with anybody getting 10 targets.
Right. So, but if I guarantee you
Agreed.
10 targets, right? Okay. So there you go.
Okay, so let's bet.
9.
9 is the number,
Damn. Don't give him the 1.
right?
Don't give
He
him
always
1.
does. He always does this to
After
me.
you preach 10, don't
That-
give him the 1.
Yeah. So I said
Don't give him
I
the one.
asked a different question though.
I know,
How
I
many
know.
fantasy points do you think he's
I don't like doing that. I told you I don't like those ones.
He wants to bet on targets.
I don't like because it's hard. It's too hard to predict that stuff because
my
a guy,
whole point is
because a
that-
guy can go out there and he
Yeah.
can do his job and he can and get work and things just not fall the right way.
And you can have Jeff Driscoll and or whoever else is throwing him over there. Mills.
It's Davis
General Mills. Yeah.
General Mills is going to be throwing him the
Yeah,
ball.
who cares? Yeah. No, I can't bet on the targets because
I think
they're
I'm
gonna
pretty
be
sure
really
in
bad.
all the games, I think there's been 3 games this year where both Brandon Cooks and Nico Collins didn't play, and I think he's got 10 PPR points in all of them.
All right. I wouldn't start him, Ken Wood. And then Kansas City, you're starting Mahomes, you're starting Kelsey, you're starting Pacheco, and
That's it.
McKinnon is the
You're-
only
you're-
other
you're
thought,
gonna,
really. McKinnon and Juju Smith-Schuster.
So to me, you either have a McKinnon week or you have a Pacheco week.
I agree with that.
So I think this is a Pacheco week.
And I agree with that, too.
And then Juju, I think you just kind of have to start him because he's been the most consistent Mahomes target that's not named Travis Kelce.
Yeah,
But
he's
you
a
shouldn't-
flex play,
you
in my
shouldn't
opinion.
be excited about
Yeah.
it. You should be hopeful.
Just cross
it'd be
your
nice to have a
fingers
pivot.
and hope for the best.
I'd rather start Chris Moore than Juju. Can we do that? Let's do that.
No.
But you wouldn't do it, right? You wouldn't start Chris Moore over Juju?
Well, because I think the upside is so much higher with Juju.
I don't.
Okay,
I think the upside's
but
higher
I
with
think the
Chris Moore.
baseline is probably
I
better
think
with
the
Chris
upside's
Moore.
higher. I think the upside's higher with Chris Moore because he's going to get more targets, guaranteed.
Yeah, I'm not betting on Juju. Not right now, man.
See, but
4 years ago.
that tells you where the line is though for Chris Moore, because you thought you were trying to make a joke out of it and trying to make
I would rather start Juju than Chris Moore.
put it-
But would I make a bet?
Come on.
No, I don't feel
Put
that.
your money- why not?
Because I'm not betting on Juju, man. That's a horrible bet for Juju.
It's your guy.
Anything could happen.
Juju's your guy.
He was 4 years ago, 3 years ago.
Steelers fans.
Yeah. All right.
No loyalty, these guys.
He plays for the Chiefs.
At least for one game a season. Cowboys at Jags. All right, so
Oh.
Cowboys -4, over under at 48.
All right.
Another quick one. Yeah.
This is the quick one. This is the fantasy bonanza of the game of the week for me. Like, this is the one.
No, Jags aren't going to be on the field for very long.
I think the Jags are going to score a lot of points.
Our Dallas fan is telling us that the number 2 defense in the NFL, this amazing Dallas D, is with the 2 injuries that they sustained
I
last
think
week, that they're going to have some major
They
holes.
are
and I think that's-
susceptible.
I think that's worth listening to.
I think that I think this is going to be a back and forth game. I think this is going to be I could see the Cowboys losing this game and it being one of those, early defining moments for Trevor Lawrence.
Can you define a back and forth game, please?
A back and forth game is a game that doesn't.
What's the
Bore-
point gap?
It's not that necessarily that it's a point gap. It's that both teams are producing. Both teams are moving the ball, scoring points.
Okay, so
at a
what would
regular
the
interval.
minimum
It's
score
not a
have to be?
punt fest.
Both teams would score a minimum
25
of
points.
25. Okay.
And that's what I think. I think this game is like a 31-28 game.
I would bet against that.
And so I could see you'd bet against that
25.5
for both teams.
for both teams.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen.
So you're saying like it's about 25.5.
And what's the over/under?
The over under is 49.5.
Okay.
No, wait.
Yeah, I
No,
mean Vegas.
48.
Vegas agrees with me.
The over under is 48.
Vegas is saying there's going to be some points scored here. So
Yeah, but maybe not a back and forth. Could be like
What's the spread?
-4. Yeah.
That's a back and forth game.
So-
That's an implied point total of 20.
Interesting.
27,
Yeah.
23.
Okay, I'll give you that. Yeah.
So,
and I'll tell you,
okay, people, I did not look at any of this stuff online. Like that was not. We did not just like perform a play. That literally just happened where I put stuff into the air and Ray these guys questioned it and then had it confirmed by Vegas.
no, and that's a strong.
All I'm saying is I
confirmation.
disagree with both Vegas and you.
That's fine. We'll take your money.
Yeah, and honestly, you'd take mine too. There, I'd take the under on that game. I'm going to take the Cowboys, of course.
I'm going to take the over. I'm honestly, I'm going to take the over. Because of the way that Trevor Lawrence has been playing.
Yeah.
The Cowboys defense has been a little leaky lately. I really do think this is a spot where he's going to at least have a chance to have one of those moments in his career. I think that's going to happen. I don't know if he's going to get it done. I don't know if I'm hoping my boys are going to be able to hold him off, but it wouldn't surprise me. It really wouldn't. The way he's been playing so well, and the Cowboys have been playing down to their competition, it wouldn't surprise me at all if the Jaguars were able to steal one.
But you're still picking Cowboys.
I am going to pick the Cowboys, of course.
And
Yeah, I did too.
Okay.
Okay, and just fantasy wise, Cowboys
Start everybody.
Okay.
Yeah, start
Dak,
it, like
both running backs.
Start Dak. Start Dalton Schultz is probably
Okay.
a really big one. Jacksonville's been getting killed by tight ends.
CeeDee Lamb.
they're-
What about Gallup?
You're going to start CeeDee Lamb. I'm not ready to start Gallup yet.
Okay,
I'm
so that's your line.
Yeah,
okay, that's fair.
That's kind of where the offense is right now. Is you start Dalton Schultz, you start CeeDee Lamb, you start both running backs, and then if the Cowboys are going to need to score points, you start Dak, and if they're not going to need to score points, you don't start Dak. But it's kind of unpredictable because the Cowboys have just been scoring 30 points a game. They're the highest scoring team in football, but you don't know how they're going to do it week in, week out.
Yeah, kind of nice. Yeah, honestly, I feel like it's more of a Cowboy blowout here, but
And then I'm sorry,
we'll see.
on the other side,
Oh, right.
I'm not excited about. The only person I'm not excited about starting on the other side is Travis Etienne. I do think they'll be able to bottle him up, but
What about short passes?
But
and
I
stuff to him?
they haven't been doing that. They haven't been doing that at all.
Okay.
I think that Evan Ingram, Zay Jones, and Christian Kirk are all great starts this week.
I thought Dallas was number 1 against tight end,
They are.
and so why Evan Ingram?
Because I don't think that's a product of the Cowboys having someone who shuts down tight ends. or necessarily them scheming tight ends out of the game.
To me, it's just an athletic defense that
It's
can
just-
cover the tight end. You know?
But they don't scheme their defense that way. They leave their guys on an island a lot. The Cowboys leave the middle of the field open. It's a place where you can attack them. So I would not be afraid to start Evan Ingram in this game against the Dallas Cowboys. Like I said, I think the Jaguars are going to score points. They're going to come through the passing game. I don't think this is going to be a great game for Travis Etienne, but I like Zay Jones, Christian Kirk, and Evan Ingram all to have 10 plus PPR points this week.
Man, okay, that's a hot take. Honestly, that's not what I was expecting, and should be interesting to watch.
It's going to be a good one.
Yeah,
It's going to be a good game.
I'm definitely more anxious to watch it now than I was 20 minutes ago. All right, what's next?
Lions at Jets.
My babies.
Another good one.
My babies are fighting each other.
Right?
Anybody
funny.
who's been listening to the show, knows that I've been in love with the Lions and the Jets this year. So it's like this is a sad one for me. I don't want to pick this game. I hate this game.
Lions are only -1, and the over/under is 44. So
The Lions should not be favored in this game.
no, they are.
I know, but they shouldn't be.
Well, they shouldn't have been favored last week, and they were.
No, they should have been favored. I told you.
I mean, obviously how it turned out, but like, I mean,
you.
if I bet you in Vegas, most of the money was on the Vikings. I'm just saying. All right, so here, this is if Mike White
So,
was in, I'm taking
real-
the Jets.
real quick,
but now that he's not,
The Browns are also favored over the Ravens.
are they really?
Yep.
I did not know that. When I picked the Browns, I was like, nobody's going to pick the
That's
Browns.
right,
'cause
right? I didn't mess that up. Let
me
me
look.
double check that. I'm pretty sure I heard that this week.
That means that Ray announced it and we didn't listen to him, or I didn't listen
Hey,
to him.
we're all interested in certain things. Where the fuck are they?
I don't know.
They're there.
They're in both.
Yeah, Browns are -2.5.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's come down a little bit. I think it was 3.
Well, this is DraftKings. I don't know if the earlier number you heard was
that's
from
good.
DraftKings.
Shoot.
But yeah, the 5-8 Browns are favored over the 9-4 Ravens. Like this is crazy.
Crazy.
It's crazy.
Like I say, I didn't look at the Vegas lines. I'm very shocked that they agree with me there.
So are you, so who you guys got? Who you guys got?
I've got the Lions.
I have the Jets.
Yeah, like I said, I was going to take the Jets until Mike White went down. And
I think this is Zach's time.
I almost
boy.
picked him.
Yeah.
All right, Zach.
He's going to prove himself.
Listen, we
Sure.
We got a little ahead of ourselves. We got a little excited after the Buffalo win earlier. Banged a little too many MILFs. But hey, you've got another opportunity. Seize the moment, Zach.
Seize another milk.
Seize the MILF, Zach. The moment, Zach.
Good luck.
Moments I like to.
No, honestly, I've been paying attention to all the Jets games because go Jets, and Zach Wilson they pan over to him at least once during every Jets game, and he's been very involved, very engaged in the game, and I think that's a good thing. I think he's been waiting to get another opportunity. Like I said, I still think that Zach Wilson is the best quarterback on that team. He's the most talented quarterback on that team.
I don't know if he even thinks that anymore.
Sometimes I'm sure he does. Sometimes he's 21 years old.
No,
sure
they
he
were
does.
they were talking
He's-
about a big confidence problem with him and this and that, but who knows?
Oh,
It was probably all
he's a kid.
speculation. Who knows?
He's a kid. They go through confidence,
Yeah,
swells.
I get it. Yeah.
So I'm excited for him.
Okay.
I'm excited for him. It would not shock me if Zach Wilson went out there and lit up the Lions. That wouldn't shock me at all.
It would shock me, and like I said, I had Garrett Wilson in all my
so
lineups, and then I yanked him out.
So here's what happens sometimes. Sometimes these guys they get to watch someone else who's I don't know if it was just he didn't learn from watching Joe Flacco doing, but a lot of times when they sit and watch for a little while after having been in there and being taken out, they come back in with a new perspective
And forced to learn. Yeah, no, I hear you.
and do what and make minor adjustments that make big differences. And for Zach Wilson, I don't think that he needed to really make too many big adjustments other than just give up on plays faster.
Okay.
To me, when I watched, that was the biggest thing with Zach Wilson is that he needed to give up on plays faster and just trust his progressions, because sometimes it seemed like he was a little like anxious to throw the ball, not because he's afraid of the rush, but because like he just it's hard to describe, but he's better than what he's put on tape at times. That I'm sure of.
Okay.
Sometimes these guys put it together, and sometimes they don't.
Yeah. No, and he's still very young. We'll see.
I hope he does.
Next up, we got Cardinals at the Broncos. Cardinals are plus another low-scoring game. Cardinals plus 1.5 with the over/under at
another
36.5.
backup bowl.
Yeah. Colt McCoy versus who?
Brett Rippon, baby. His daddy's an MVP, Super Bowl MVP.
Is Russell Wilson just out for this one game?
We don't know.
Yeah, it's a concussion, so probably.
He cleared the protocol and isn't going to play.
No.
I read it today.
Oh.
He cleared the protocol, but is still not going to play.
Okay.
Don't know what that means.
Well.
No.
Who knows what's going on with the Broncos?
Listen, Russ, they cleared you, but we think there's something wrong.
We need a third opinion
Just take
here.
a week off, okay? Let little Brett Rippon handle this weekend.
Yeah, that'll be
It's just
interesting.
the Cardinals.
So yeah, this is horrible. Good defense versus McCoy. Oh man.
So random '90s fact: Brett Rippon's dad was
Uncle.
Uncle. Oh, it's his uncle, huh?
Uncle,
It is his uncle. I'm sorry. Brett Rippon's uncle was the first quarterback that I thought was awesome because he won. Yeah, he won Super Bowl 26, and I watched a lot of those Redskins games.
Why?
Huh?
Why the Redskins?
Well, they were on TV every week because they went 15-1 that year.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. So, is there anybody we're excited to start here? I mean, you're gonna start
Jerry
D-Hop.
Judy. Jerry Judy.
You're
Are any of you
excited to
guys-
start him?
Now, yes. The only thing that gives me pause is the statistic with Cardinals versus number one receivers. But I don't think they're going to have a choice but to throw Jerry Judy the football like 10-ish times. It's him, it's Dulcich, and that's all. That's all I got. Like, they're lining Dulcich up at wide receiver.
All right. All you've done is convince me to take the Cardinals because, man, I just can't see the Broncos moving the ball.
Oh, sweet. I did that?
Yeah.
Because I'm taking the Broncos.
Take
You're taking the
them.
Broncos?
Yeah. Am I
Yeah.
lone wolfing on the Broncos?
Yeah.
Let's ride.
With Rippin.
I hope you're right.
Come on, Brett.
funny.
Let's ride.
I hope you're right.
I really like this next game.
Okay.
I'm excited to watch this
All right.
game.
Let Ray announce it here.
Patriots at the Raiders.
The Raiders.
The Las Vegas Raiders. Let me see if I can find this game. The internet's not cooperating as well.
Autumn is a pirate.
Here we go. Plus 5.5 for the Patriots, and the over-unders at 45.
Wait. You mean
Can you say that again?
Plus 1.5 for the Patriots. The over-under is at 45.
Wait, so the Patriots are underdogs?
Yep.
wow?
According to DraftKings.
They know. Vegas knows that Josh McDaniels is a former Belichick disciple,
Yeah.
right?
Like
They know that.
that line doesn't make any sense to me.
New England's going to go in there and dominate this game.
That's what I think.
I think so too.
We're all on the Patriots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't see how you can take the Raiders here.
I don't either. Vegas seems to think so. Oh, they're Vegas though. They're the Las Vegas Raiders.
Must be it.
They're being homers. Vegas is being homers this time.
Now, an interesting fantasy question here. Darren Waller. He's coming back,
this week.
right?
I want no part of that this week.
Okay. No, I think I agree with that too.
The only thing that makes that interesting to me, like if he's a full participant in practice, The only thing that makes that interesting to me is what we know about Bill Belichick and taking away your number one option. So we know they're not going to be able to throw the ball successfully to Devontae Adams. And this week, like I feel bad for anybody who has to lean on Devontae Adams to get a playoff win this week. That sucks.
What about the running back, man? He's been doing good.
Josh Jacobs is a fine start.
Think so?
Yeah, that's where
Like, you don't think they start him as they like consider, okay, we have to stop Josh Jacobs?
No, I don't
like
think
as the number one.
I don't think they're going to load the box because Bill Belichick, because the way that he plays defense is he'll bend. He'll bend all day long. Just don't break. And so if they like, they'll let you get 5 and 6 yards if you want to continue to try and run the ball, if you want to hand the ball off to Josh Jacobs 30 times. Like, that's what I think it would take that commitment from the Raiders to win this football game, and I don't think they'll do it. Like, Josh Jacobs would need to touch the football 30 times for them to win.
And we have to mention that New England is having some pretty big injury issues. Like, who do they throw the ball to right now?
That's never mattered in New England. Their biggest injury issue is the fact that Ramondre Stevenson might not play, but he was a limited participant in practice today. So, like,
their
me
number
as the
one,
guy who
number
spent
two.
my last fab dollars on Damian Harris is very sad because I expect now that Ramondre Stevenson, like, if I didn't expect him to practice at all this week, and the fact that they got him out there on Friday tells me that they're going to try and play him this week. So I don't, but I don't think it matters. I think they're going to do their damage probably through Hunter Henry.
Okay.
And that's what's been happening. He's been doing that lately. He has a string of like 60+ yard games now. That's like 3 or 4 games consecutive. He hasn't scored a touchdown, so it's not making like tight end headlines.
Right.
But there's him. I don't and honestly I don't know the rest of the situation with their wide receivers. I know Devontae Parker's the one you're talking about.
Well, Parker looks to be out.
But Myers should play. Jacoby Myers should play.
No, they're saying he's out.
Who was it?
Double check me there. But
I thought Myers was the one that was going to play.
Last I heard is both Parker and Myers are out.
Let me look.
Yeah, the law firm is gone. But like I say, if I'm wrong, please tell me because then I got to pivot somewhere.
No, he's questionable.
Yeah, and from what I've heard, he's not going to play. Parker's more likely to play, but it doesn't look like it. So honestly, Nelson Aguilar looks like the guy that's going to be soaking up some targets there just because he's the only one to throw to. But, those are targets from Mac Jones.
Nelson Aguilar, that's the answer that you're looking for.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
And it's a revenge game for him, too.
Revenge game. So
that stuff's real. That stuff is real, and it's true.
So, yeah. So, I mean, if you're absolutely desperate, Aguilar's definitely out on your waiver wire, and you can start him if you have to.
Mac Jones is Jones was another streaming candidate that I was interested in taking away from you.
I was looking at him.
Yeah.
I was looking at him, and then I looked at all his totals for the year.
The receivers. It's the receivers for me.
The receivers too, but also his totals for the year. I'm just like, okay, this isn't a guy to be scared of.
Titans at Chargers. Ready?
I think we are. Yeah.
This is a great game.
Titans at Chargers +3 on the Titans, and the over to unders at 46.5.
This is going to be the game that decides our match, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I've got Keenan Allen and Derrick Henry,
and I've got Herbert.
Oh, Herbert. You have Herbert? Oh my God, I didn't even notice that. God,
you didn't know that I'm the Herbert owner?
I did not.
My team's
that
loaded,
irritates
bro.
me. That irritates me so much right now. That kills me.
I thought you knew.
I've got Herbert in one of my other leagues, like my money league, and so I'm really rooting for Herbert, and now I'm just like, God dang it. Like I had read that at some point, you know what I mean, a couple times looking at matchups, but that just hadn't stuck in my head for some reason, and now I'm just really disappointed. But all right, yeah, I expect this to be a super high-scoring game. This is my total of the week. This is my DFS game of the week. I think Herbert and Allen and Mike Williams are going to go off. I think Eckler's going to have a good game. I think Derrick Henry is going to be amazing. And then so there's going to be some passing yards on the Tennessee side, and it's going to be where's it going to go to?
Okonkwo.
How do you say it again?
Okonkwo.
Okonkwo, yes. I think I definitely believe in him as a tight end this week. And what about, was it Burks?
Treylon Burks.
Treylon
He's
Burks.
not going to play.
Oh, he's out this week?
Yeah.
So who's the replacement there?
Well, they have Westbrook Akine, and he's the one that they like to, if they're going to throw the ball downfield, that's where it's going to go.
It's their speedster. Okay.
And then they've got Robert Woods.
Oh, that's right, Bobby Woods. God,
Bobby Trees.
he's been so disappointing.
He gets his opportunities, though. If you watch their games,
Yeah.
he does have opportunities. So, like, it's one of those situations. It's like every fifth game or so, you're gonna be like, "Damn it! I wish I'd started Robert Woods this week," because he'll have 18 points or something like that. But no, you can't play him. You can't play him.
All right.
Yeah, and then I agree with you.
So
I
here's the
think
big thing. Who are you taking, man? This is a hard one to call.
This is one of those ones where I kind of want to I almost want to pick the Chargers to Charger, and blow the game.
Oh, I got you. I was like, what? Oh.
But I just when I watch the Titans, I just don't feel like they have enough juice to keep up with the Chargers. Like, if the Titans aren't gonna I don't think the Titans are gonna play defense against the Chargers as well as the Dolphins did last week. The Dolphins have great cornerbacks and safeties. So
Titans are
I
a pass
think-
funnel defense, and I don't think that's going to work against Herbert.
yeah, I think that I honestly think that it's weird. Like, history makes me want to pick the Titans in this game because this is traditionally that game that the Chargers blow. Like, they should win this game.
Right. Yeah, they are good at that. Yeah.
But I can also see the Chargers winning this game by 20.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a close, hard-fought game, and I'm going to take the Chargers.
I'm going to take the Chargers too.
Yep.
That's damn it.
All right. We need to pick up the
And
pace on
just
some
as
of
a
this.
reference, the Titans have only hit the over 3 times this season.
Oh, that's a good little fact there. Thank you.
Right. Next up, we got Bengals at Bucks. Bengals at -3.5. The over/under at 45.
Bengals are rolling. Tampa is not. That's all.
I don't know why I picked Tampa, but I just got a feeling about this game.
Okay. I take the
with Tampa.
Bengals for
I'm
sure.
taking the Bengals too, and I'm going to take the Bengals for mostly based on a statistic that I saw this week that I think it's probably the most impressive statistic I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. Teams are 1-11 this year after playing the 49ers.
It's a weird stat.
The week after playing the 49ers, teams are 1-11. The one win, the Chiefs. And they had a bye.
To rest up. So the you're just saying San
Teams
Francisco
that have
beats you up so much, huh?
Teams that have played the next week after playing the 49ers this year are 0-11.
It's a weird
And which
stat.
team is that? Bucks?
Yeah.
And well, if you watch 49er games, they beat the crap out of people.
Oh yeah.
They like
No, they're good.
and it's
They're
like
2000
so. I
Ravens
was
good.
watching Nick Bosa versus. Oh yes, they are. Yes, they are.
This is Tom Brady's tryout.
I was
though.
watching Nick Bosa versus Charles Cross last night, and he held up really well in the first half, but the second half, Bosa was he's just relentless, and he
Yeah.
they just apply so much pressure. Those and what it is really those linebackers. Those linebackers are so good.
You're gonna get our Niner fan all excited again.
Yeah. Sorry. We're not even talking about the Niners. We're talking. Yeah, the Bengals. We're like the Bengals. But you know what sucks is like there's not very exciting fantasy prospects from this game. Like I would stay away from T. Higgins. He was questionable going into last week. Then they started him, and then he immediately pulled his hamstring again.
Yeah.
So until for me,
Don't mess with that.
yeah, I'm sitting him until, and he's my best receiver in Dynasty, and I'm sitting him until I see, okay, he was able to finish the game.
Yeah.
And as soon as he finishes a game, plugging him back in. But until he finishes the game, there's no way I'm chancing that.
Yeah.
Like the hamstring is the absolute worst injury to try and play through. The one where I'm gonna give it a go. Oh, your hamstring? I'll start somebody else.
I agree with that completely. So I mean, but Chase is going to be a monster.
Chase.
Mixon is. I mean, you probably have to start Mixon.
Sorry about that.
Oh yeah, your receivers are great. And then Tampa. God, who do you want to start?
Nobody.
I don't want to start a running back.
Literally nobody. Godwin. That's it.
I was going to say Godwin.
Godwin's going to get targets, but you're not excited. You're not
are we
excited
just
about it.
off Evans at this point? Like, wow.
You know what? So here's what I want to say about Mike Evans, though. Watching him in person, it's not him. He's fine. I don't. Mike Evans looks fine to me. He had a touchdown taken. He had like a 70-yard touchdown taken away from him, and I didn't see holding on that play. Like I've seen, that was one of those to me. You know what? So real quick aside, I really wish the NFL would look at like some of these penalties or like give the find a way so the referees don't have to like call all these ticky-tack penalties that don't affect the play. They should be able, like, let's say a penalty gets called, right? Like every single penalty, like there should be like at least like a mini review on the amongst the officials on the field while everything's still coming together for the next play or whatever.
Honestly, there kind of is
of whether or not it should even be called.
No, there has been a lot of that lately.
I don't.
The last year or two, they've really been doing that.
I feel like it doesn't happen often enough because to me,
I think they've been doing a lot better,
I feel like I watch a handful of plays in every game that I watch where there is a penalty that is called. And I'm talking about a handful of penalties that are called that just had no effect on the play whatsoever.
Well, yeah, but
you have to call
them. I don't know.
They have to call them because it's their job.
Well,
but you don't
because you never know how it's going to affect the play. You have to throw the flag, and then I mean, I don't know. That's a hard one to litigate there, brother. But anyway, we got to move, man. It's getting late.
So Ray picked the Bucks. I'm going to pick the Bengals.
I did too.
Get to the NFC East showdown.
Giants at Commanders.
Woo!
Giants +5 over under at 40.
Everybody knows how I feel about these games. Turn it off. It is Washington versus the New York Giants. Don't watch that. Don't do it to yourself. Don't watch it. Brian's going to have to watch.
It should be a good game.
Because he's going to be down by about 40 points, and he's going to be hoping that Terry McLaurin has the game of his life.
Heineke to McLaurin, baby.
And then he's going to get sad as
win.
Brian Robinson scores 3 rushing touchdowns.
That's right. It is going to be a really significant game for us. That's funny.
We have. It's a fun matchup this week. Like there's a lot of
we
good
got
stuff
some
going
interesting
on.
stuff.
Yes.
I'm taking the Commanders here.
I am too.
The
Giants are going to lose out.
Yeah, Giants are just in trouble.
You heard it
right
here
now.
first. The Giants and the Dolphins will lose out and miss the playoffs.
Hot take. I'm not willing to go there.
I'm still taking the Giants. I need the Giants to win.
And honestly, with that coaching staff, you never know.
Next up, Rams at the Packers.
We got there. We're there.
Baker Mayfield.
Let's talk about him now.
Baker Mayfield is fired up, so Aaron Rodgers is going to tank the game.
Tell us about Baker Mayfield. How do you feel?
He's fired
Talk
up.
to us, Ray.
I don't care. I didn't.
Come on, Rams fan.
I mean, he's not going to stick around until next year, right?
Why not?
I don't think he is.
Matt Stafford might retire.
I don't think he is. If he is, then I'll feel one way about it.
So
if he's sticking around until next year, then fine, give him playtime.
You know that McVay liked him coming out of the draft.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yep, sure did.
He's like McVay's a big fan of Baker Mayfield's.
Yeah, for some reason.
And well, hey,
hopefully he stays fired up. I think he's going to stay fired up to get us to Green Bay.
I like Baker Mayfield as a quarterback prospect. I don't know yet.
Zach Wilson and Baker Mayfield. Oh yeah.
But I know, right? Hey, you know what? Baker Mayfield's got a Heisman. Do you?
Do you?
Do I?
He said, way to put it into perspective.
No, but you know what? No, he's a tough guy, and I like when I've watched him play quarterback.
That's a good line when you're. I mean, I would argue that line even if I don't care.
He's a tough quarterback. He like that. I mean, to me, okay. There's a lot of quarterbacks who struggle with like things like looking at the pressure as it comes at them, like not being able to stay with their eyes down the field and read through their progressions and take hits and deliver the ball. And I don't think that he has that deficiency. Like he struggles to roll left as opposed to rolling right. I can make that joke about him, but when I watch
some of his rollouts, I was watching, I was like,
but honestly, everything that's happened with Baker Mayfield over like the last 18 months is kind of crazy. Like doesn't happen to a lot of starting.
I think it's got him fired up.
A lot of starting quarterbacks. I
agree with
you
that.
know what I mean? Because he had a season where like he really should have shut it down. Like he kind of hurt himself, you know, by playing through injury.
Yeah.
And that sucks. That
agree.
really
Yeah.
sucks. So I'm kind of rooting for him. You know, and
So you're picking the Rams?
no, that's not what I'm saying. No.
What about you, man?
Thanks for bringing that down to earth.
Yeah, I'm going to take Green Bay on that one.
Yeah, the Packers. So I said the Dolphins are going to lose out. The Giants are going to lose out. They're going to miss the playoffs. The Packers are going to win out. I don't know if I've got a bet on the Packers making the playoffs, but they immediately lost a game after I made that bet, if I remember properly. And I thought they were going to win out from that point. I thought they were going to beat the Eagles, and I thought they were going to run from there and win out. I do think they're going to win out, but they could miss the playoffs on
Even worse
tiebreakers.
run out, yeah.
So we'll see. But I do think that's what's going to happen. I think the Packers are going to roll.
All right.
Jacksonville at Jets. We're out into the Thursday night game. Jacksonville's plus 2.5. The over-under is at 42.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, Mike White. Well, I mean, who knows what's going to
It's
happen?
not going to matter because Zach
Wilson's going to dominate.
That's
Mike
right.
White's going to lose his job. I don't know.
He's going to lose Zach's job. He was holding it for Zach. Okay.
Oh man, I don't know what to do here. This is. I
wait,
guess I'm taking the Jets,
Wait,
but
where's the game?
it's in New York, and that's.
Oh,
why
I'll take the Jets.
Yeah, that's kind of where I landed too. But God, that could be interesting. That could be interesting.
I still like the Jets a lot. I think the Jets can threaten to win a wild card game.
I think so too. They've got the defense to do it. They really do.
Like I think they're going to make the playoffs, and I think they will be competitive in the wild card game.
I'll give you that. I would agree with that assessment. All right, so those are our weekly picks. It's
did
DFS
it.
time, huh?
Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, who won DFS last week?
I can't remember. Let's just move on.
Oh, who won the week before?
I don't know. Let's just move on, shall we? Oh yeah. Let's see.
We all got sick. It's not worth mentioning. Let's move on.
You got the lowest there, Ray. You want a little shot?
Yeah, I got
Oh, there you got yours. All right, here. Cheers, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right. All right. Who wants to start off the DFS lineup here? Is anybody ready?
I got one. Hold on.
Okay.
I'll go first.
Yeah, I've been over here like trying to pivot off of stuff like that while we've been talking.
I probably should, but sorry, just real quick. I haven't put just if anybody actually listens to my lineups, I haven't put quite as much work into them this week because it's playoff week. Like all I really care about is my fantasy teams and the playoffs, and I've got 4 fantasy teams going into the playoffs, and those are the players I care about. So those are the players I'm rolling with.
I didn't bother with the tournament lineup, so.
Okay, fair enough.
So here we go with the cash lineup. Dak Prescott, Dallas. McKinnon from Kansas City. Sanders from Philadelphia. Allen from Los Angeles Chargers for my wide receivers. Oh, and Olave. Running back was Sanders and McKinnon. I'm sorry. And then Williams from Los Angeles Chargers for the rest of my wide receivers.
Does it scare you that he picked McKinnon?
Not really, no.
Because he's done this to us all
know.
year
That-
long.
you're right.
where,
You're right
he-
about that,
like,
yeah.
he makes these starts that we wouldn't make, and they just go off.
That is true.
Tight end is Everett on the Chargers. Like, I got to make a note of
That's
that.
a great one.
That is a good one.
I like that one a lot, actually. I didn't mention that when we were talking about the game, and I meant to.
And then on my flex, Foreman from Carolina, and I'm picking the Patriots for my defense.
Ah, you stealing my D.
You can keep your D.
Are you
All
sure?
right, I'll go next here. I'm going with Herbert for my quarterback. 7,200. Like, honestly, he seems like the best quarterback on the slate. Hard to argue there. Derrick Henry, I think, is going to have a game. Hard to argue with that one. Alvin Kamara, I think, is going to get off the snide and do his thing.
How much did Alvin Kamara cost this week?
Only 6,800.
Yeah, it's
like
a good
he's
deal.
he's a bargain this week with a good matchup. My wide receivers are Keenan Allen, Garrett Wilson. Oh shoot, I didn't pair. Oh man, I meant to pivot off Wilson. I made this morning before what's his name got hurt.
I couldn't do it myself. Like, I think
Yeah.
he's still a value at the price.
Yeah, I might have to pivot.
I think in
in the morning before the games.
I think
but
if
we'll
he
see.
scores a touchdown, like you're way over
Yeah.
on the 3-4.
Yeah, and he's only 6,000. That's the big thing, is he is just a value. My other wide receiver is my big punt play, my dollar savings for the week, and that is Nelson Aguilar.
At how much?
Aguilar was 3,400.
Nice.
So yeah, saved me 2,000 to 3,000 there. So that's a big savings. Tight end, I'm going to go with Chig Okwonkwo, the Tennessee.
If you can't pronounce his name, you can't play
Nah,
him.
dude, I watched him play, and dude, this guy
He's good.
He's
No,
got
I've-
juice,
I've-
man.
I've been watching him,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's got juice. I like it. My flex.
How much was he?
He's 31.
Yes.
31. So still actually pretty cheap for a tight end. And then my flex is Isaiah Pacheco at 5,900, playing against the worst run defense in the league. Seems like a bargain there. And then the DST, the Broncos defense, is just too cheap at 2,700 going up against Arizona. So there you go.
Yeah, the Broncos defense is really cheap.
Yeah.
I think that's what they call the Monday night savings, because
Yes.
if they had known that Kyler Murray wasn't going to play when they set these prices, that probably would have been different.
Agreed.
Okay, so my cash lineup is also going to be head up by Justin. There's going to be a lot of crossover here. Justin Herbert at 72. I also am playing Derrick Henry and Isaiah Pacheco at 5,900. At receiver, we're gonna differ a little bit because he's probably going to pivot off of Garrett Wilson. I won't. I play Garrett Wilson for 6,000. I play Mike Williams for 6,300, and I'm going to play Chris Moore for 4,200. He's my punt play of the week. For those of you who don't know, Chris Moore put up, I think it was 10 catches, 120 plus yards, and he might have scored last week. I think he did score last week against the Cowboys.
Chase those points.
And in all three, I believe it's been 3 games where Brandon Cooks and Nico Collins didn't play. Chris Moore's been good for 10 plus PPR points. So in a match where we know they're going to have to throw the ball a lot because they're playing against the Chiefs, I expect him to be able to put up some points. For 4,200, he doesn't have to do a whole lot. At tight end, I also have Chig Okwonkwo at 3,100. And in my flex for 6,500, I've got Miles Sanders at the Chicago Bears.
Interesting.
And then I'm also playing the New England Patriots defense. I think that, Bill Belichick versus his disciples has given us enough history that we just expect that
Yeah, I like it.
McDaniels is going to walk into a trap.
I like it. I just couldn't afford it.
It's a trap.
It is.
All
a
right.
trap. Look.
It's a trap. Hey.
I thought that's why you were saying
I
it.
didn't actually. I did not at all.
It's a trap shirt.
It's a trap. That's a great shirt.
Thank you.
So, for my tournament lineup, my quarterback will be Dak Prescott at $6,200. At running back, I've got James Conner at 6,900. Running it back with Isaiah Pacheco because it's just at 6,000.
Wow.
He has the opportunity to really like pay you off.
Yep.
At wide receiver, still going to run Garrett Wilson at 6,000. He's just too cheap. Going to stack CeeDee Lamb with my quarterback, Dak Prescott. I'm going to stack against him with Zay Jones. We're going to complete the stack at tight end with Dak and have Dalton Schultz at 4,400. My flex is going to be Damian Harris at 5,800. Although if Ramondre Stevenson does in fact play on Sunday, I will pivot that to Najee Harris at 5,700.
Najee's only 57.
Yes, and then my defense this week is a little bit of a punt, is going to be the Buccaneers at $2,600. However, if I have to pivot Damian Harris to Najee Harris, I will get $100 back and move my defense from the Buccaneers to the Broncos.
All right. My tournament lineup is fairly similar to my cash lineup.
He's just all in on his guys this week.
I am in on my guys this week, and the biggest thing is I went a little bit harder on the Tennessee Charger game here. Stacked it a little bit more. Figured like a lot of people are going to stack it, but I heavily stacked it, and it might help me out a little bit on the percentages there. So I'm going Herbert again, Derrick Henry, and Pacheco. Those are names we've heard quite a bit. Aguilar is my savings guy. Keenan Allen, I'm going to go Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. I'm going to double stack with Herbert here. Tournament lineup, you got to go a little crazy here. Okonkwo is just too much of a bargain at tight end. Kamara at flex. And since I went with so many high-end guys there, I am going to go with my Bears defense against Philadelphia. If you notice, I don't have any Philly players in my lineup, so that makes me, you know what I mean? I'm going tight end. I'm going tournament here, so... You know, if Philly happens to fall on their face, then hey, guess what? This is the game that's going to have all the
I'll be
points,
super happy about that.
There you go. So who knows? There you go.
That's it. That's all we got.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay.
That's it, and that's all.
All right. Sorry we missed you last week, everybody, but you know, sicknesses happen. This is all the sickness is going around this time of year, so I'm sure you understand. But we're glad we got to see you this week, and we'll definitely do it again next week, I think, right? Even with the Christmas looming.
Next week's Christmas. We gotta give Christmas gifts next week.
I definitely have a gift for each of you. I was a little bit more prepared this year,
All right.
so I've got it.
Don't miss
my
that.
wife wrapped them last night, so
Yeah.
all right.
Awesome. Real quick before we go, Ken.
I am Ken Bailey. If you want to stalk me, on Facebook, Ken Against the Clock on Instagram, and Mr. Goodbet on Twitter.
I'm Clouded Jester on everything else. You guys, we'll see you next week. Peace out, everybody.
Love you
See
guys.
ya.
Crush it. Championship time.
Playoffs.
So, let me see, did I? Okay, I'll talk to you.